The hidden crisis robbing American seniors of their independence. A clinical breakthrough. 50% of Americans over 65 cannot lift a 10-pound bag of groceries overhead. But here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. This muscle loss after 60 isn't inevitable, and the solution costs big pharma billions in lost revenue. Robert Sterling, and for the past 25 years, I've been helping seniors discover what your doctor probably never told you about aging well. I've sat across from over 1,000 patients past 60 who were told their muscle weakness was just normal aging until we proved them wrong. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 68, and she used to be the tennis champion at her country club. When she first came to see me 3 years ago, she could barely make it up her own staircase without stopping to catch her breath. Every specialist told her the same lie. Margaret, senior fitness decline is just part of getting older. There's nothing you can do. But I knew they were wrong. And in just 90 days, Margaret went from struggling with laundry baskets to hiking 5-mile trails with her grandchildren. If you've been told your muscle loss after 60 is just normal aging, you're going to want to hear this story. The secret wasn't exercise, expensive supplements, or miracle drugs. It was addressing something so simple that the $50 billion supplement industry desperately hopes you never discover it. Today, I'm going to share exactly what transformed Margaret's life and why this breakthrough in senior fitness is being suppressed by an industry that profits from your decline. Why your body is fighting against you and why doctors miss it. Here's what I see in my office every single day, and maybe you'll recognize yourself in these stories. John is 72. He built houses his entire working life, could swing a hammer for 10 hours straight. Now he can't change a light bulb without his hands shaking from fatigue. Susan is 69. She raised 4 children, ran marathons in her 50s, was always the energetic one in her family. Now she gets winded walking from her car to the grocery store entrance. If this sounds like you or someone you love, you're not alone. These aren't just stories about getting older. These are stories about losing the simple abilities that let us live independently. Getting dressed without help, taking a shower safely, walking upstairs without gripping the handrail for dear life, carrying our own groceries, playing with our grandchildren. And here's the controversial truth. The medical system actually benefits when you believe this decline is inevitable. Think about it. The average American senior spends $4,000 monthly on assisted living. Medicare spends $28 billion annually just on fall-related injuries. The supplement industry makes $15 billion yearly selling ineffective muscle-building products to desperate seniors. But what if I told you that the strongest, most independent older adults I treat all discovered one simple secret about aging well that costs less than your monthly coffee budget? When we lose these basic abilities, everything changes. Suddenly we're looking at assisted living brochures. Our adult children are having worried conversations about us behind closed doors. We start declining invitations because we're not sure we can keep up. Thanks for joining us here on Voice of Age, a warm space for real talk about life, health, and heart in our later years. I want you to know that what you might be experiencing isn't your fault, and it's not inevitable. For decades, doctors have told us that losing strength is just part of aging. Sarcopenia, they call it. They say we lose 3 to 5% of our muscle every decade after 60, and there's nothing we can do about it. But here's what they don't tell you. I have patients who completely shatter this myth. 70-year-olds who are stronger and have more energy than my 50-year-old patients. 80-year-olds who are still living independently, traveling, gardening, playing with great-grandchildren. If you know someone who's been told their senior fitness decline is inevitable, they need to hear what I'm about to share. What made them different? At first, I thought it might be genetics. Good families, good genes. But that wasn't it. Many of them came from families where everyone else aged normally. I thought maybe they had access to expensive treatments or personal trainers. But some of my strongest elderly patients were working folks who'd never been to a gym in their lives. The answer shocked me, and it's going to challenge everything you've been told about aging well. The medical lie about muscle loss after 60. Here's the truth Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. The strongest older adults I treat all have one thing in common. Their bodies are exceptionally good at cellular hydration. Not drinking more water, though that matters, but getting water into their muscle cells where it can actually work. Your muscles are about 75% water. That water isn't just sitting there like water in a glass. It's working water. It's carrying nutrients to fuel your muscles. It's removing waste that makes you feel tired and sore. It's helping your muscles contract with power and recover quickly. When you're young, your muscle cells are like brand new sponges. They soak up water easily and hold onto it efficiently. But as we age, those cellular sponges start to get stiff and develop cracks. They can't absorb water like they used to, and they can't hold onto the water they do get. So even if you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day, your muscle cells might be gradually drying out. And dry muscle cells are weak muscle cells. They fatigue quickly. They recover slowly. Over time, they actually start to shrink. This is why the $15 billion supplement industry doesn't want you to know about cellular hydration, because the solution can't be patented. This is why you might notice that you get tired more easily than you used to. Why your muscles feel stiff in the morning. Why you don't bounce back from physical activity the way you once did. Your muscles aren't getting the hydration they need to function properly. But here's the hopeful part. This isn't permanent. It's not a one-way street. When we give your muscle cells what they need to absorb and hold water properly, they start acting younger again. Much younger. Margaret's $15 transformation, the simple secret. Let me tell you exactly what happened with Margaret, because this story is going to make you question everything you've been sold about senior fitness. When Margaret first came to see me, she'd already spent over $2,000 on supplements that promised to rebuild her muscle. Personal trainers who made her feel worse instead of better. Protein powders that upset her stomach. Every doctor told her that muscle loss after 60 was inevitable. Her blood work looked normal. Her heart was fine. But when I really listened to her story, I heard something that caught my attention. She told me she was drinking more water than ever before, but she felt constantly thirsty. She was getting up multiple times during the night to use the bathroom, but she still felt dried out. That's when I realized what was happening. Margaret's body was processing water, but her cells weren't able to hold on to it. The water was going right through her without doing the work it needed to do inside her muscles. I started her on what I now call the Sterling Morning Protocol. It's incredibly simple, but the results speak for themselves. Every morning, as soon as she wakes up, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything else, Margaret drinks 1 full glass of water with a 1/4 teaspoon of real sea salt and the juice of half a fresh lemon mixed in. If you want the exact measurements and timing, I'll give you the complete details in just a moment. That's it. No expensive supplements. No complicated timing. No hard-to-find ingredients. Just water, sea salt, and lemon first thing in the morning. Within days, Margaret started noticing changes. Her morning stiffness improved. She had more energy in the afternoons. She wasn't getting up as often during the night. Within 2 weeks, she was climbing stairs without getting winded. Within a month, she was carrying her own groceries and felt strong enough to start taking walks around her neighborhood again. 3 months later, Margaret was hiking 5-mile trails with her grandchildren. 6 months after that, she was back on the tennis court, laughing and playing like she was 20 years younger. The industry's secret. Why this works when everything else fails. Here's why this simple protocol works when expensive supplements fail, and why the industry desperately hopes you never discover it. Your muscle cells need more than just water to stay hydrated. They need the right balance of natural minerals to create what we call the cellular doorway that allows water to flow into the cell and stay there. Real sea salt, not the processed table salt in your kitchen, contains dozens of natural minerals in the exact proportions your body recognizes and needs. These minerals create the conditions that unlock your cell's ability to absorb water effectively. Fresh lemon juice does something equally important. It provides natural acids that help your cells produce energy more efficiently. When your cells have more energy, They can do a better job of maintaining the pumps and systems that keep them properly hydrated. The supplement industry can't patent sea salt and lemons, which is exactly why they don't want you to know this works. Together, sea salt and lemon create the perfect conditions for your muscle cells to absorb water and hold onto it throughout the day. It's like giving those old, stiff sponges a treatment that makes them flexible and absorbent again. If you're ready to try this instead of expensive supplements, you'll want to know exactly how to prepare it. Why timing matters, the morning advantage. Now, you might be wondering why this needs to happen first thing in the morning. Can't you just add salt and lemon to water anytime during the day? The answer has to do with how your body works overnight. While you sleep, your body continues all of its essential functions. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, your liver processes toxins, your kidneys filter waste. All of this work requires water, and by morning, your muscle cells are genuinely thirsty. But there's something else happening in the morning that makes this timing perfect. When you wake up, your body naturally releases hormones to help you feel alert and ready for the day. One of these hormones actually causes your body to release water and salt, which is part of the natural wake-up process. If you don't replace these minerals right away, you start the day in a deficit. Your muscle cells are already behind, and they'll struggle to catch up all day long. But when you provide exactly what they need first thing in the morning, you set yourself up for steady energy and strength that lasts. I tell my patients to think of it as priming the pump. You're giving your muscle cells everything they need to work properly for the entire day ahead. And because you're doing it before coffee and food, there's nothing competing for absorption. Your body can focus entirely on getting these essential nutrients where they need to go. The complete Sterling protocol, your step-by-step guide. After working with hundreds of patients like Margaret, I've refined this approach into what I call the Sterling protocol. It's designed specifically for people over 60 who want to reclaim their strength and independence without complicated regimens or expensive supplements. Here's exactly what you need to do, step by step. The Sterling Solution Recipe. Take 1 8-ounce glass of filtered water. Add 1/4 teaspoon of unrefined sea salt. I recommend Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, which you can find at any grocery store. Squeeze the juice of half a fresh lemon into the water. Stir well until the salt dissolves completely. Drink this slowly over about 5 minutes within 30 minutes of waking up. Don't gulp it down. Sip it mindfully, allowing your body to begin the absorption process. Wait at least 20 minutes before having coffee, tea, or breakfast. This gives your system time to absorb the minerals without competition from other substances. What to expect week by week? Week 1 is about foundation building. Most people notice improved mental clarity and more stable energy throughout the day. You might find that you're not experiencing the afternoon energy crash you're used to. Your sleep might improve with fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups to use the bathroom. Week 2 and 3 is when the physical improvements become obvious. Patients typically report that daily activities feel easier. Climbing stairs doesn't leave you breathless. Carrying groceries doesn't strain your arms. You might notice that you're naturally standing up straighter and moving with more confidence. Week 4 through 8 is when the real transformation happens. This is when people start getting comments from family and friends about how much better they look and seem. Your endurance improves noticeably. Activities you'd been avoiding become possible again. Many patients tell me this is when they start feeling like themselves again. If you're thinking about committing to try this for the next 90 days, let me tell you what to expect beyond the first 2 months. Making it work in real life. I know what you're thinking. This sounds simple, but what about when life gets in the way? What about when you travel, or you're staying with family, or you simply forget? I worked with my patients to develop solutions for every situation. For travel, you can pre-mix small packets of sea salt and keep them in your purse or suitcase. Lemon juice can be substituted with a small amount of apple cider vinegar if fresh lemons aren't available, though lemon is always preferable. If you forget one morning, don't panic. Just start again the next day. Consistency matters more than perfection. If you're taking medications, the Sterling protocol is generally safe to use, but I always recommend discussing any dietary changes with your doctor, especially if you're on blood pressure or heart medications. The monthly cost of the complete Sterling protocol is $15 to $20, compared to the $200 or more that many of my patients were spending on ineffective supplements. When you consider the potential healthcare savings from avoiding falls, preventing frailty, and maintaining independence, the return on investment is enormous. Real stories from real people, the proof. Let me share a few more stories from my practice, because I think you'll see yourself in these experiences. Robert came to me at 72, using a walker after a hip fracture. His family was already looking at assisted living facilities because they were worried about his safety living alone. Robert was terrified of losing his independence, but he was also terrified of falling again. I started Robert on the Sterling protocol, along with some gentle movement exercises. Within 6 weeks, he was walking without the walker. 3 months later, he completed a 5-mile charity walk for his church. Today, a year and a half later, Robert leads a hiking group for seniors at his community center. His family went from planning his move to assisted living to marveling at his energy and strength. Susan had been a competitive swimmer in her youth, but hadn't been in a pool for 15 years. She told me she felt like her body had betrayed her. She was tired all the time, her joints ached, and she'd gained weight that she couldn't seem to lose no matter what she tried. The Sterling protocol didn't just improve Susan's energy levels. The natural anti-inflammatory effects of proper cellular hydration reduced her joint discomfort significantly. 6 months after starting the protocol, Susan joined a master's swimming program. She's now competing again and has lost 30 pounds without dieting. James was falling asleep every afternoon and couldn't stay awake for evening activities with his wife of 47 years. This was putting a real strain on their relationship and his social connections. He felt like he was missing out on his own life. Within 2 weeks of starting the Sterling protocol, James's afternoon fatigue disappeared completely. His wife jokes that now she can't keep up with his energy level. They've started taking dance lessons together and recently planned a trip to visit national parks, something James thought he'd never have the energy to do again. If you know someone who's been told their senior fitness decline is just aging, they need to hear these stories. Beyond muscles, the whole body benefits of aging well. While I developed the Sterling protocol specifically to address muscle weakness and fatigue, my patients have reported improvements in areas I didn't expect. Many people notice that their thinking becomes clearer and their memory improves. This makes sense when you consider that your brain is about 75% water, just like your muscles. When your brain cells are properly hydrated, they communicate more effectively, leading to better cognitive function. Patients frequently tell me that their mood improves. They feel more optimistic and less anxious about their physical limitations. There's actually a physiological reason for this. Dehydration, even mild dehydration, can trigger stress responses in the body that affect mood and emotional regulation. Digestive issues often improve as well. Proper hydration is essential for healthy digestion, and the lemon in the Sterling solution provides additional digestive support. Many patients report less bloating, more regular bowel movements, and better appetite regulation. Sleep quality almost universally improves. When your body is properly hydrated during the day, it doesn't need to wake you up at night with thirst signals or the need to process excess water that wasn't absorbed properly during the day. The controversy: why your doctor doesn't know this. Here's the uncomfortable truth about aging well that the medical system doesn't want to discuss. There's no money in simple solutions. Medical schools spend less than 20 hours teaching nutrition over 4 years of training. Doctors learn to treat symptoms, not address root causes. And pharmaceutical companies fund most medical research. They're not interested in studying things they can't patent and sell. The supplement industry makes $15 billion yearly selling expensive, ineffective muscle-building products to seniors. They've convinced you that aging well requires complicated, costly interventions. But what if the solution to muscle loss after 60 was so simple that a child could understand it? What if senior fitness could be maintained with ingredients that cost pennies per day? That's exactly what threatens their entire business model. If you're tired of being told that decline is inevitable, you're going to appreciate what I'm about to share next. I want to emphasize that the Sterling Protocol is designed to complement, not replace, appropriate medical care. If you're currently working with doctors for chronic conditions, it's important to keep them informed about any changes you make to your routine. Most healthcare providers are supportive of natural approaches to maintaining health, especially ones as gentle and well-researched as proper hydration. The Sterling Protocol can actually make your medical care more effective. When your body is functioning better overall, medications work more predictably, recovery from illness is faster, and your doctor gets a clearer picture of your true health status. Your personal transformation, the 90-day journey. I want to challenge you to give the Sterling Morning Protocol exactly 90 days. That's all I ask. 90 days of one simple morning ritual that takes less than 5 minutes and costs less than $15 monthly. Why 90 days? Because that's how long it takes for your body to fully adapt and for you to experience the complete benefits of proper cellular hydration. Some people notice improvements within days, but the real transformation happens when you give your muscle cells time to rebuild their capacity to absorb and hold water effectively. Here's what you can expect during your 90-day journey to reclaiming your strength and independence. Days 1 through 14. You'll likely notice improved mental clarity and more stable energy throughout the day. The afternoon energy crashes become less severe or disappear entirely. Your sleep may improve with fewer nighttime wake-ups. Weeks 3 through 6. This is when the physical improvements become undeniable. Daily activities feel easier. You might catch yourself standing straighter, moving with more confidence. Stairs become less challenging. Carrying things doesn't strain you as much. Weeks 7 through 12. The transformation becomes visible to others. Family and friends start commenting on how much better you look and seem. Your endurance improves dramatically. Activities you'd been avoiding become possible again. This is when many people tell me they feel like themselves again. Beyond 3 months. This is when aging well becomes your new normal. You're not just maintaining your current abilities, you're actively improving them. You start seeking out new activities instead of avoiding them. Your independence isn't just preserved, it's enhanced. Why this matters more than you think. This isn't just about feeling stronger or having more energy, though those are wonderful benefits. This is about maintaining your independence, your dignity, and your ability to live life on your own terms. Every day you wait is another day of muscle cells getting weaker. Every week you delay is another week closer to needing help with basic activities. Every month you postpone action is another month your family worries about your safety and independence. The average cost of assisted living in America is $4,000 per month. That's $48,000 per year, often paid out of pocket because Medicare doesn't cover it. For families watching their parents decline, it's not just financial stress, it's heartbreak. But here's the hope. Your muscle cells remember how to be strong. They're waiting for the right support. They want to serve you well for many years to come. The Sterling Morning Protocol is that support. Think about it. What's the one activity you most want to do again? Whether it's playing with grandchildren, traveling independently, working in your garden, or simply climbing stairs without fear. Your goal is possible when you understand how to support your body's natural ability to maintain strength. The ripple effects, how this changes everything. What I've observed in my practice is that the Sterling Protocol often becomes a catalyst for other positive changes. When people start feeling stronger and more energetic, they naturally begin making other healthy choices that support aging well. Patients start taking walks because they have the energy for it. They begin cooking more meals at home because they feel like doing it. They accept social invitations they might have declined before. They take on projects around the house that have been sitting undone. This creates what I call a vitality spiral. Improved hydration leads to better energy, which leads to more activity, which leads to better fitness, which leads to more confidence, which leads to a more engaged and fulfilling life focused on aging well. Family relationships often improve as well. When you're not constantly tired or worried about your physical limitations, you can be more present with the people you love. Grandchildren get to see a more energetic, playful version of you. Spouses worry less and enjoy your company more. Independence becomes not just maintained but enhanced. Instead of slowly losing abilities, you start regaining them. Instead of avoiding activities, you start seeking them out. Instead of feeling like your best years are behind you, you start believing that good years are still ahead. Margaret is playing tennis again at 71. Robert is leading hiking groups at 74. Susan is competing in swimming at 70. James is taking dance lessons and planning national park trips. What's your comeback story going to be? Your independence starts tomorrow. Right now, as you're listening to this, you have an opportunity. An opportunity to take one simple step that could change the trajectory of your health and independence. You can continue on the path you're on, accepting that feeling weaker and more tired is just part of aging. Or you can try something different, something simple, something that costs less than your monthly coffee budget and takes less than 5 minutes each morning. You can keep spending money on supplements that don't work, or you can try something that hundreds of my patients have used successfully. You can wait for someone else to give you permission to feel strong again, or you can give yourself permission to start tomorrow. I can't promise that the Sterling Protocol will make you feel 20 years younger overnight. I can't guarantee that it will solve every health challenge you're facing. But I can tell you that hundreds of my patients have experienced significant improvements in their strength, energy, and quality of life by making this one simple change. More importantly, I can tell you that you deserve to feel strong and vital, regardless of your age. You deserve to maintain your independence. You deserve to wake up each morning with energy for the day ahead. You deserve to be able to do the things you want to do with the people you love. The Sterling Protocol isn't just about maintaining what you have. It's about reclaiming what you thought you'd lost forever. It's about proving to yourself that your best years don't have to be behind you. 1 glass of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, the juice of half a lemon, 5 minutes of your time each morning. That's all it takes to begin your transformation. Your muscle cells are ready. Your independence is waiting. Your comeback story can begin tomorrow morning. If you're ready to prove that senior fitness decline isn't inevitable, if you believe your comeback story starts tomorrow, then you have everything you need to begin. Because here's the truth I've learned from working with over 1,000 patients who are successfully aging well. Aging is inevitable, but frailty is absolutely optional. Weakness is not your destiny. Fatigue is not your future. Strength, vitality, and independence can be yours, starting tomorrow morning, with 1 simple glass of water prepared with intention and hope. The question isn't whether this will work. The question is whether you're ready to give yourself the gift of trying. Your 90-day transformation begins with a single sip. Are you ready to take it? Your journey to aging well starts tomorrow. I believe in your ability to reclaim your strength, maintain your independence, and write a comeback story that inspires everyone around you. The choice is entirely yours. Your muscle cells are waiting. Your independence is calling. Your strongest years may still be ahead of you.